Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina may yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa sallama tasliman kasiran kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa man ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah wa amila salihan wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders and sisters, doing the work of inviting people to Allah, prior to this, I was doing the work of Jamaat Tabligh since the age possibly 20 years. From the age of 20 years until now, I'm 67 years old. I have made myself to indulge with the work of inviting people to Allah or inviting people to obey the orders of Allah. And since the past probably 10 years, I've been speaking daily. Past 10 years. Been speaking daily about Islam. Every morning. Almost. This is not a simple thing to be able to be given the tawfiq. Yeah? Allah has given me the tawfiq to do the work since at a very young age. When I was joining this work of Jamaat Tabligh, I was only 21. And I used to do gash on my own and or with my friend, another one friend of mine, to visit the Muslim there in Australia. I was inflamed with the desire to see the rise of Islam. I was thinking how to make the entire man and woman of this world to become a person who are obedient to the commands of Allah. I was wondering as to what are the reasons why there are so many people who are disobedient to the orders of Allah. I couldn't find the answer. But that has been my question and my curiosity as to why there are people who are good, there are people who are bad. Why people have become good and why people have become bad. There must be work to be done in order to become a good man. And naturally those who are not the good men, the bad men are the people who are doing bad job or not doing anything to make themselves good. But what is that work? Certainly that work should be the work of Nabi Muhammad SAW. But how to do it? It is not to my knowledge. I tried to find books. I was searching for books, literatures regarding the work of my Prophet SAW. I was not able to find any. So I involved with the work of Jamaat Tabligh, thinking that possibly this is a work which are much closer to for the work of the Nabi, because this work is the only work which I have come to know, that they go to see the people. So the fact that they go and see the people, this is a good job. This is job like the prophets. But the detail of it, I don't know. So that's why I did the work of Jamaat Tabligh, because the work of Jamaat has some or slight similarities to the work of Nabi. But I was told when I joined the work of Jamaat, they told me we cannot do the work on non-Muslim because the time has not come. So I keep quiet and listening to them and obeying whatever they said until the time when I come to know that I've been with Jamaat Tabligh for so long, from the age of 20 until the age of 40. I've been going to many places in the world in the past of the work of Jamaat Tabligh. Been to India, Pakistan, Bangladesh many times. I was made to become even the Shura of Selangor or Kuala Lumpur, and the Shura of Malaysia. I was greatly involved in the work, and yet I find I have not achieved the very reason as to why I have done this work. The reason is why I want to do this work, so that I become a purified person, sanctified, a person who is completely devoted to Allah, and that will be shown in my prayer. Till I'm about 40, I couldn't have khusyuk in salat. I'm telling you the truth. I said, why? I cannot devote myself in prayer, devote or remember Allah devotedly in my prayer. There must be something wrong. I've been doing all what it needs to do in the work of Jamaat Tabligh, observing all the rules and the regulations, such an extent that I think I cannot do anything else more. But still I'm not having a khusyuk in my prayer, because this is so important. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran that success are those who have khusyuk in their salat. Truly, the person who have khusyuk in salat are the person who are success. So this ayat of the Quran make me to think. So from then on, I was thinking and looking at some of the hadith. So one very important hadith, which is written in that book of Fadail Amal, Rasulullah said, renew your iman. And the Sahaba asked, how? Rasulullah said, frequently speak about the kalimah. So these are the first hadith which, I said, the reason as to why I do not have strong iman, because I was not speaking about the kalimah. So Rasulullah said, frequently speak about the kalimah if you want your iman to be renewed. And continue to speak the kalimah until the day when you can never be able to speak it anymore, which is the time when you will die. So that is the first hadith. that make me to think that I should be speaking about the kalima whenever I meet anyone in my work of dawah. So I start doing it. But I was doing it among those people in the markas, or in the markas which at Miami, and who everyone knows, who in the markas knows that I am the shura. So naturally they listen attentively to me. So I find the joy of doing it. But yet I don't think my iman increased. I said, it must be the way which I'm doing is wrong. The words of Nabi Salam is right. You have to frequently speaking about kalima, but the way is not right. I shouldn't speak among those whom I know, whom respected me. I should do it in my locality, to those people who doesn't even know me as to who I am. So I start making jawla. Early morning I go from house to house, but only to the Muslim house. That lasted about 10 years. Then I find I'm still not having the khusyuk in prayer. Why? I'm puzzled. I said something is wrong. Is the fact that I'm not seeing the non-Muslim. So I started to make prayer whenever I pass through the house of the non-Muslim in my locality. Then I find there is some enlightenment. Nobody in the whole world are doing this. No one except me. So no one is able to understand the reason as to why we have to invite the non-Muslim to embrace Islam. I was being told by the work of Jamaat Tabligh, we only see Muslim. I've obeyed. I followed. But I know myself, the results is almost nil. People like Samad will never bother to experiment such thing. He's not even bother as to whether he has iman or not. Simply touch and go in doing the work of Jamaat Tabligh. This person don't even do any work of Jamaat Tabligh. How can he know? So then only I said, this is an order of Allah. When Allah says, kuntum khaira ummatin ukhrijat linnas, it's very clear. You, kuntum, sent, for the good of the entire mankind. Kuntum khaira ummati, you are the best ummah. Sent for the good of the whole mankind, linnas. I said, how can we don't do to them? So after 6 months of making prayer in front of non-Muslim house, and then talking kalima to the Muslim, then one day, I speak and give dawah to the non-Muslim. That was in 2008. After 10 years of talking about kalima among Muslims, then I find, I'm on the path of the truth. So I cannot reject this experience of mine, my own experience. So I start to tell the people that we have to do the work on the non-Muslim. We have been deceived all this while by the elders of Tabligh Jamaat, or by the entire people of Tabligh Jamaat, that we cannot do the work on the non-Muslim because we have to correct the Muslim first before we ever want to invite the non-Muslim to Islam. These are the fallacies. This is the falsehood which has been spread by the so-called scholars and leaders of Tabligh Jamaat in the whole wide world. So I don't want to do things which are wrong, because if I think I do things which are wrong, I will not be able to get the increase of iman, and as a result, I will not be able to get the khusyuk in my prayer. So once they know that I've been embarking on works which are so different from the work of Jamaat Tabligh, so they start to find excuses, to get me out from the work of Jamaat Tabligh. I just accept it because I don't care. I do not want power. I do not want post. I do not want to become shura. I want to become the lover of Allah. And one indication that a person is having the love of Allah is he must have a khusyuk in his prayer. So then I start going from house to house. The Muslim, remind them about the kalima and inviting them to do the work of ta'muruna bil ma'ruf wa tanhauna 'anil munkar and salat. And to the non-Muslim, we talk to them about the kalima and then inviting them to recite the kalima. So some people follow, but many don't. They say, no, we're not going to follow things which are new. We will stick to what we used to learn from the elders of Nizamuddin, that we should not see the non-Muslim. So they regarded me as someone who is disobedient to the Mashayikh, and a person who is disobedient to the Mashayikh will certainly die as infidels. So someone written, I want to see how Nasoha will die, because he is going against the elders and say things which are not right, like saying that Maulana Sa'ad is actually a politician, not a scholar. I've written about it. That was way back before this incident taken place. No one would ever dare to say Maulana Sa'ad is a politician. I wrote an article on it somewhere in 2013. Understand? So many people of Jamaat Tabligh get so furious with me. I said this work of Jamaat Tabligh is a deviated work. It's not a true work. Samad do not believe me, isn't it? You don't believe me. You are Indians and you love the elders of Jamaat Tabligh who are also Indians. You think that they are always true. So many people, many Indians run away from me. They dislike me because I have not shown respect to the elders of Jamaat Tabligh who are all Indians, Pakistanis. So I get myself away from the work of Jamaat Tabligh for some time. I'm not going to the markaz, I'm not going to India and Pakistan and to any of the ISTMA. So my dear brothers, my experience in doing this work spanned over many years. It's not simply I know. The moment I do the work of Tabligh, I've been given the hidayat to do the correct thing. No, it takes effort and time. Naturally, it takes time. After 20 years with Jamaat Tabligh, then only I start to speak about the kalimah. And after 30 years of doing this work, then only I start to see the non-Muslim. Such a long time for me to be able to understand that. That is not something you must think as it's so easy for me to know it. You will not be able to know it. None of the people in this whole world will know it, because they are never thinking and pondering as I did And no one will be able to understand. Ibrahim alayhis salam, when he was asking as to who his God is, when he looked at the sun and the moon and the star, no one in the whole world is doing it except him. And similarly, no one is thinking, pondering, as how to become a good man, a pious man. A truly pious man is a person who truly have khusyuk in their prayer. If any of you do not have this khusyuk in prayer, be assured that you are not among those who are the obedient servant of Allah. You are not. How can you become the obedient servant of Allah when in the very important order of Allah, which is performing of salat, you can't even remember Allah even a minute or a second. You only remember about other than Allah in your prayer. Surely you are among those who are deviated. So Rasulullah said the khusyuk in salat is the first that will be taken out from the earth. Why? That means to have khusyuk in salat, you must have a very high level of iman. So I come to know now that you will only be given the khusyuk in prayer when you have achieved the status of a true believer with the good deeds of the highest level. First, you must achieve the status of a true believer with the good deeds of the lower level, then the middle level, then the highest level. If you only achieve the status, even the true believer good deeds of the lower level, you are still not able to have the khusyuk in your prayer. When you have khusyuk in your prayer, then only your prayer will become a means to solve your problem. Then only your prayers will become means to prevent you from wrongdoing. So to have khusyuk in salat is of extreme importance to each and every one of the so-called believers, or the so-called person who have recited the great kalimah. It is not sufficient only to be able to recite the kalimah. Of course, that is better than those who are not given the tawfiq to recite the kalimah, but that is not the best. After you have recited the kalimah, you have to work so that the kalimah will be installed into your heart to the level which will make you to become the true believer of the good deeds of the lower level. Then you have to work to sacrifice your entire time and wealth so that you will be able to become the true believer of the good deeds of the highest level, then to become the lover of Allah. So my dear brothers, once after I am able to attain that level of true believer of good deeds of the highest level, Allah give me khusyuk in prayer. So now I have the khusyuk in my prayer when none of you have. None of those people who follow me, who pray behind me, are having khusyuk in salat. Of course, every day if I ask you, you have khusyuk in salat? Said no, because they have not reached this status of the true believer of the good deeds. They don't have the desire for it. Like Pendi, I told him, if you want, you must move here. You cannot become a true believer of the good deeds of even the lower level. Sufyan, still they're not having the real desire, because to them to have a khusyuk in prayer is something not important to be achieved. My dear brothers, it's very important to be achieved. Of course, the person who are the true believer with the good deeds of the lower level is also a person who can enter paradise and save from hellfire. But they are not whom Allah is saying truly they are successful. The person who are the true believer who leads of the highest level, they are also known in the Quran as a person of taqwa. or a person who have fear of Allah, and only ulama or the so-called scholars who are able to achieve to this level of iman, then only they'll have khusyuk in prayer, then only they have the understanding of the Quran, then only they can give the correct fatwa. But unfortunately, there is none among the whole entire so-called ulama in the whole world who is doing the work of Nabi in the way Nabi did, with the intention to please Allah. They not even go to the non-Muslim or go to the Muslim to remind the Muslim about the importance to obey the order of Allah, and they don't go to the non-Muslim. Who do you see among all the scholars in the whole world who are doing that? You can see anyone who do Gaj every day. Go to the non-Muslim house, go to the Muslim house in their locality, in the town, in the city, whole world, preventing munkar. You have found anybody? You have known anyone? No. Not even among the so-called scholars. Not among the so-called scholars. Not even among the normal, ordinary so-called Muslims. I'm the first one. And naturally, those who know me, come in contact with me, listen to me, and follow me, I is the one who can do it. If anybody have never met me, never listened to me, never do what I did, naturally there's no one in this whole world who is doing the same as me. And naturally, there's none other than me in this world who are having khusyuk in prayer. So, believe it or not, in this whole entire world, there is only one person who is able to achieve that status of the true believers of good deeds of the highest level. And my status now is not only the true believers of good deeds of the highest level. My status now is the lover of Allah of the highest standard, of the highest level. The lover of Allah has a lower level, middle level, and the highest level. So you can see how's the khusyuk of prayer which I'm having, incomparable to anyone, when none in the whole world is having khusyuk in prayer. What more to compare with my prayer? So if ever I go for Hajj, my prayer is accepted, my dua is accepted, then the whole Haji of the entire Ummah of Rasulullah who is performing Hajj with me will be accepted. Because my Haji will be accepted. Similarly, if I'm praying and I'm one of the members in the Jama'ah, or I'm the Imam, then the whole people who are praying with me in the same Jama'ah are accepted. But if you don't have anyone in the Jama'ah, like in Haji or in prayer, anyone who's the true believer of the good deeds of the highest level, or the level of Allah, then none of the Hajj is accepted, none of the prayer is accepted. So this has happened not now, since years ago, that all the Hajjis are going to Mecca, the Hajjis are not accepted. But nobody worry about it. No one is particularly interested not to become the lover of Allah. The true believers of the good deeds of the lower level, they don't even interested. They are not even interested to achieve it. He has become a true believer of good deeds and now losing it without having any pain. No value. Someone must, when you become a true believer, you must keep it and work hard to remain as such, and not only to remain, to become even higher. The true believers of good deeds of the middle level, then of the higher level. So, in order to become the true believers of good deeds of the highest level, you must sacrifice not some of your time, your entire time and entire wealth. In other words, you must use your time and your wealth according to mashwarah, That means according to Mashwara, you use your time and your wealth. Then you, inshallah, with the grace of Allah, will achieve that. You must do this work of Nabi, this work of inviting people to good, forbidding people for evil, with the sacrifice of your wealth and time according to Mashwara. Whenever you are required to go in the pasar, you will go. Whenever you are required to stay, you will stay. How much money you have to spend, you will spend. You are told to spend. You have no value at all to money, to your time. You become like Ibrahim. Inna salati wa nusuki wa ma yahya wa ma mati lillahi rabbil alamin. All my salat, my life, my death, everything I do is for you. Lillahi ta'ala, to please you. So my dear brothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the opportunity to be able to become the lover of Allah, the true believers of good deeds of the highest level, or the true believers of good deeds of the lower level, only in this world. When we'll die, we have no more times. No more times. Even in this world, while doing this work, then we become sick, unable to do gash, unable to pray. Then it means the time opportunity to become a true believers of good deeds has been hampered. Do you know that you will always be healthy? No. So every single opportunity times should be taken as opportunities to become the lover of Allah, the people who are the true believers of the highest level. So we should not think that we are safe. We should not think that we surely will be able to attain peace and felicity, tranquility in the hereafter, unless we'll be able to pass through the sirat, the speed of lightning. We may crawl and walk when we pass through the sirat, but that's not good enough. We feel the pain, the heat of the hellfire, which are underneath the bridge of sirat. You know, if you are a lover of Allah and or you're the true believer of the highest level, you will pass through the sirat the speed of lightning, even faster. But when Rasulullah and the companion they were sitting were told that even if you are able to pass through the sirat at speed of lightning, you still will have the heat. You will still feel the heat of the hellfire whenever you cross it. The Sahaba and Rasulullah cried. They cried so much, and we are not willing even to do anything to become the true believers of good deeds. So the way to become the true believers of good deeds is the way which I found out with the guidance. Allah guide me. We must do the work of Prophet Muhammad Sallam. We must see everyone, not like Jamaat Tabligh, only seeing Muslim. I tried it. It doesn't work. Who you want to believe now? The one who have done it, or the one who have not done it? Those who have not done it, they surely cannot tell you. They only see Muslim, they only go 3 days, they go 40 days, and they get some sort of peace of mind. That's not good enough. Asking one question, do you have khusyuk in your prayer or not? If you have peace of mind by making zikr, reading Quran, and you don't have khusyuk in your prayer, you are still on not in a very good condition. So these are the things which people don't want to understand, to achieve, because to them the most important thing is this world. When we have the love of this world, it will make our heart harden. It makes our heart blacken. That's why we are not able to hear. Now I'm talking to you about the truth. Your heart is blinded. You can't understand what I'm talking about. You are made not to understand. Who make it? Allah made it. I keep on talking, telling, same thing again and again, but you remain the same because your heart is hardened, blackened, blocked from knowing the truth. Why? Because of the love of the world. That's why this work of Prophet must be done with the sacrifice of your entire wealth and time. You may do it with the sacrifice of your wealth and time, some of it, but you will not be able to achieve the true believers, the good deeds of the highest level unless you sacrifice your entire wealth and life. That means your wealth and life are sacrificed according to mashwara, decision. If you are not willing to do that, then if ever you want, you'll be able to achieve the true believers, the good deed only of the lower level. So, my dear brothers, time again and again, I'm telling this story of mine to tell you that whatever I know is not a fluke. It's not something given to me from the day one I'm doing this work. It has given to me after serious sacrifice I have made. After serious thinking. It's not easy for me. And naturally, if you're not willing to listen to me, after I'm telling you all this and you still want to do whatever you like, but of course that's your choice. But you naturally will regret it once you die and you have entered the hellfire. Then only you say, if only I will obey him. Like this Yazid. When I told him, you divorce your wife, he unwillingly refused. Deliberately. Someone, I told him, leave, come here and stay. He said, no, I'll stay in Malacca. So they are not the person who wants Allah, They want dunya. If we want dunya, dunya will not last forever. The dunya will leave you, and you have to go to see Allah only with your good deeds. Remember, a time will come when you will die. I will die. And that is a time when we will know nothing will be able to be done anymore to make us to become the lover of Allah or the true believers of the good deeds of the highest. Before that time comes, we have to decide to embark wholeheartedly to the work of Prophet Muhammad SAW, to do daily the work in our locality. In a month to go 3 days, 4 days, 5 days in the suburban. In a year to go 4 months, 40 days, 2 months. Within the country or in other countries of the world. The reason for going out, not to rectify yourself, to please Allah, to do the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, to do the work of preventing evils. The non-Muslim must be invited to recite the kalima. The Muslim must be invited to do the work of dawah or the work of Nabi. This is the correct way. It is the correct work which has never been known in the past. Has never been known. If it has been known, it surely has been written in some books or some journals. Has never been written, it means it's never been done. It's never been known. It's only known when I've written it in my Quran, in my articles. And Allah give me that understanding, not simply I'm not doing anything, not thinking anything, simply come. No. Allah give me the understanding because I'm the one who searched for it, who strive to find out of it, who have cried to Allah day and night to tell me the right way. So Allah is naturally most merciful and compassionate. He guided me, and now He has made me, exalted me. And as evidence to that, you can read from just a normal optometrist or professor able to interpret the Quran in 84 books, writing the Hadith, 7 books. Who on earth is able to do this? Not even the so-called ulama can do this. None. What more any doctor in the whole world can do it? Any optometrist? No. So it is naturally a great blessing of Allah. Either you want to regard it as a blessing or not, it's up to you. If you still want dunya, naturally you refuse to listen to me and to obey me. Go on, having the dunya as you like. As Allah told Nabi Sallam, let them to be deceived by their whims and fancy. A day will come when they will regret, the day when they will be thrown into the hellfire, headlong. And only then they will remember that I have listened to the talk of the professor, but unfortunately at that time I refused to accept, to listen, to obey, because I've made myself completely in doubt with the pursuit of the worldly things. Okay.